Hi. So this has been quite a while coming. I've been putting off reading this comic. What for a number of factors. One, I was put off by reviews from some people on YouTube whose comments and reviews I normally trust, like Comics Pals, etc. And two, a comment that a lot of people said they kind of open up and go, oh, words. There's a lot of words, and you know what? There is a lot of words. But unlike, say, somebody like Tom King or Chris Claremont, where it feels like just words for word's sake, where you feel like just eating through a word salad just to get to the plot, the words in here are actually really, really good. And the story flows exceptionally well. So let's have a look at Deadman issue 1 by W. Maxwell Prince, Martín Morazzo, with colours by Chris O'Halloran. Now, I've got a confession to make. I have never read anything by W. Maxwell Prince. I don't know what it is. I think when he came to fame initially with Ice Cream Man, it was when I was still just reading predominantly, apart from the odd graphic novel here and there, in 2000 AD, predominantly I was just reading digitally. And so I just didn't, so I didn't really fancy picking it up because and at that time financially I was really rough because I was just going through divorce and everything. So it's just one of the comics left by the wayside. So by the time I started collecting physical comics, it was about 20 issues or so. There's quite a lot of issues deep. It's about, oh, there's just no way. And the trade paperbacks kept on selling out. So I will get the um, the hardbacks, what I bought like recently, eventually. After reading this, I definitely will do. But yeah, it's just somebody's passed by. I've never really, just never wanted to try him. It's never, you can't try everything. I'm glad this was like my first experience of him and of the artist Martín Morazzo. And I'm glad that I don't share the same opinions as a lot of people who've reviewed this comic. I really, really enjoyed it. And I am a huge, huge Deadman fan. My first time I fell in love with Deadman, just to give you a bit of history, was back in the 80s when it was Andy Helfer and Jorge Luis Garcia Lopez. I think it was a 4 issue series that they did, a mini series back in about 85, I'd like to say it was. Gorgeous, gorgeous comic. If you can find it on eBay, do buy it. But I think it will be released eventually on DC Finest. And then he had some strips in Action Comics Weekly. I'm such a nerd. And then Kelly Jones kind of relaunched him with Mike Barron, MAGA prat that he is. Um, yeah, Kelly Jones relaunched him with Mike Barron as a series of miniseries, and he's had obviously more. He's come into more involvement nowadays with like Justice League Dark, etc. But we're not talking about the history. We're talking about this comic. The art is beautiful. I love the opening page. It sets the scene. This, for me, the only way I could sum this up is if David Lynch decided to do Beetlejuice. That's how I would sum this up with cinematography done by Wes Anderson. I never, it's weird, I don't, with comics, I never really compare them to other comics. I compare them to films. I think that's my way doing it because I don't want to say that somebody's like somebody else in comics because I think that's an easy um, way to describe another comic. So I like to use other mediums. So I'll either use films to compare it to, or different authors that I like or that I'm aware of, etc. But again, that's me waffling. But yeah, I love the opening set, and boom, straight away we're hit with words, loads of words. But the words are good. It sets up the scene. The dialogue is very naturalistic. It's just setting the scene that these people just working in this hospital, very mundane, late night shift, and we're introduced to Deadman, who's looking like a janitor, and she just walks straight through him. And even though she can't feel herself walk through him, he can feel her walking through him. And his dialogue is great. And he does this thing where he breaks the fourth wall. But you know what? I really enjoy it. And he basically just gives a quick synopsis of who he is. And the reason I said it's like Beetlejuice, um, it's Beetlejuice without the laughs, and he's basically just in this like it looks like things. We'll come to what I mean about things have changed since we've last seen him, like in Justice League Dark. He's become like this supernatural custodian, where he basically just is wandering around. Just at the moment, he's just in this hospital because he's got a mission to watch over these people. Some people not so good, some people great. And this scene here is just fantastic, where he takes over this body. The dialogue is really, really good. It's chilling without it being scary, if that makes any sense. It's creepy in a way, and it gives this one page, gives this whole synopsis, this whole background story in just these 3 panels. And obviously, he basically says, "Look, this guy's dying. We've not got time to read all that." So this is like what they put like in the front, what they used to do in comics, where they had like these big. Oh, it's okay. My thing was flashing. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause and I'm going to speak louder because it looks like my microphone is going to cut out. So I'll have to just use the phone mic. Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit louder. I hope it's not too much of a change. So as I was saying, like they used to do this in like old 70s comics where they had the origin story compiled here. So they do it on here, but it's just you don't need to read it. It's unnecessary because it's all covered here. It's just more for design technique. So don't be scared by that. And so it goes back to this story with this patient. Really, it's really, it's bittersweet, put it that way. And he moves on to this young girl who's in this hospital as well, and she thinks, is it her time? And maybe it's not. And then we shift to this character. This is going to be the big bad. I think it's a 6 issue series. So I don't know if he'll be the big bad for the whole series, but he's definitely the big bad for this story and the next story. You can tell he's straight away he's sinister because he's got all these products to make himself look timeless and youthful, and it's just unnatural looking. There's no emotion in his thing. He says here, he says, "I'd cry if I still had my tear ducts." He's had his tear ducts removed and things like that. And they say, "Oh, we've left you another gift," his maids. And there's this figure, what you can see here. This comic, by the way, is meant to be for 13 plus. I'm surprised that they gave it such a light rating. I would definitely say this is more 15 plus. So we shift now to this scene on the bus, and this is really cool. It shows Deadman. You can tell he still yearns for humanity. He wants to feel normal. So he could just like go like that. Think about transporting someone. He could do that, but he'd rather catch the bus to go home. And he lives on this street basically, where all these spirits congregate on this street. And the reason he lives on this street is, so it shows these different spirits, and this is really ingenious. It shows how they're trapped and what they're dealing with. Each spirit that's on the earth has a different reason for remaining, and it's really, really cool. So you got this young lad here who's kind of like the conscience, very, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that if you're a spirit, you can't do this, and it drives Boston Brand mad. This tells Boston, don't go up here, stop, do not go up there. And Boston Brand's wife is obviously she thinks that he's gone. She doesn't know he's still on the earth. And then he gets interrupted by this goddess aspect. I like this how they don't use one terminology of spirituality. They're kind of like encompassing all spirituality. So it's called a god aspect. It's this actually what the closest can give this comic for any other DC comic is the James DeMatteis run on Doctor Fate, how we kind of like reinvented the status quo on Doctor Fate. So I think this is what W. Maxwell Prince is doing with Deadman. He's basically just reinventing, not radically, but just enough. So for me, it makes sense. The mythos of Deadman. And so it shifts this other scene now. So basically, this is Deadman in this comic. It sets him up. He goes where he needs to go to basically collect souls if they need collecting, or to, if it's not their turn, then to stop them dying, basically. And so there's this bag here. He's really horribly catches. He's called the fly catcher, and he uses his tongue to catch flies as he's driving on his bike. And he crashes, so his spirit rises up. But then this other evil spirit appears, and this is where the story really takes off. And then it shows how powerful Deadman is this time as well. And this is really cool. I love this how Deadman fights him, and then this is where I talk about the Beetlejuice thing. He sounds like that little headed guy from Beetlejuice. So Deadman comes through his body of Deadman, what's holding this evil spirit, because as you can see, he's extended himself, and so his little self comes out. It's just really, really cool and funky. But then it shifts to the big bad, and this is what I mean about it not really being suitable for 13-year-olds. This is really dark and sinister. It's like something you could get, it's very much like the Corinthian, creepy as fuck. And then this is really pleased me. So we go to Mamba Parbat, which is Dead Man's spiritual home. This is where he got his powers. And I love how Lord Kushner is just this young teenager, and Deadman brings them a gift of these cranes. He's really excited. They're really excited, saying, "No frigging way! Oh, the colours! This is the best day of my life." So it just made me laugh. It's just got a charm. I really, really enjoyed it. So yes, I am on for the full 6 issues. And so he explains about the spirit that he saw, how it's not the normal kind of spirit. And so Lord Kushner says, "Right then, you need a different outfit." So we get back to the almost like the classic Deadman look. And so it sets the scene. So that's just like this issue 1. Don't give up on this comic. Don't be scared by the words. It sets up the scene for what's going to be the new story, which is about these evil demons. And so it moves on to this page. But this is where I'm going to stop because I don't want to ruin it. I think I've revealed too much as it is, to be honest. But I really had fun with this. I'm glad I left it for ages, so I was in the right frame of mind. I put aside an hour to read it. I read it in about. I took my time. I really just savoured it, and I read it in about 20, 25 minutes because I didn't want to miss anything. And this, for me, is the best next level comic. It's on par with Deathstroke, and these are the only two of the next level ones that I've kept up with. Barbara Gordon, I'm like that. I've not decided if I'm going to carry on Barbara Gordon, but really enjoyed this. It's a 9 out of 10. I'm going to get all 6 issues, and it comes with my highest recommendation. Um, so yeah, okay, bye.